So let's go ahead and start thinking about what additional information would you want to be able to provide the care team for George? Well, that's not going to work.
So is he still seeing a therapist?
Is he still seeing a therapist? Right, absolutely. We don't know if he is receiving any care at this point. Okay, that would be something good for us to know. And again, is it your responsibility to find that out? No, but this is just if we could find out anything we wanted from you, you know, that would be it. So is he still in care? What else? Yeah.
Has he been working with accessibility services at all?
I think that's a big one. We were just talking about a lot of students come here and they've had accommodations or modifications in high school, and they don't either understand that their IEP just doesn't come with them automatically, or that they need to go actually to OAS. And we have helped fill out actually a student very similar to this. It was a problem like filling out the form online, like he just couldn't, you know, grasp it. So brought him in, did that with him. And it was really helpful. Kara, what were you gonna say?
And the student, this scenario is based on actually comes to see me every week. Like he comes in every week. He wants to meet with me every week. So we sit down and talk. And I just asked Joy, the one, I don't know if you all know, but we have an autism support specialist, Stephanie Little, she actually came and talked to us. She's wonderful. And I know she has a program that she's running, like it's stupid peer mentors. And so again, if anybody wants her information, she also did say, I think their program, I think they're limited in the number of students that they can enroll in their program this year.
10?
10, it is 10. And she did say, and it's expensive, so she can help walk through what you need to do because a lot of that is funded externally. But she's also said she's willing to consult anytime. Because I will tell you, in situations like this, we would probably bring Stephanie in with our conversation and have her sit in the conversation with the students.
She's great.
I
found out about her this summer because one of our students was, slightly combative. The mom was more combative than the student, but it was similar
usual
type situation. And we brought her in, and she and I worked together a lot to try to figure out what to do for him. Great.
Under what umbrella is this?
She, I believe, is under OAS.
I think so too. Yes.
So it's a brand new position. Like it was.
Yeah.
Well, there was a position there was someone there last year.
Oh, there was.
But yes, but
I thought she said it was
revamped. We'll go with that. Yeah.
And what's her full name?
Stephanie Little, Lytle. And again, I can tell you, we reached out to her. Actually, she reached out to us. We didn't even have to reach
she
out.
reached out.
So she's lovely. And she came in as soon as we reached out, she was in the next day to meet us. So I think she's really trying to, she has a real passion. I think she was a teacher at UHS for a period of time. And so she's got a teaching background, but she's a fantastic resource.
Go ahead, Rob.
I know one of the barriers though for accommodations, and it's important to have conversations with students about this because in grade school, middle school, high school, a lot of times those accommodations are made without involving the student in the conversation. And so parents are meeting with teachers to determine what's best for the student and what accommodations. Sometimes they don't know they have accommodations. I mean, it's a real thing. And then they get here and the responsibility is solely dumped on them. And sometimes they're at a disadvantage because even when they go to OAS, it may require them to be tested, and that's a timely process to do. So I think when you're meeting with students and either notice or they mention, I think it's fair to ask them if they have accommodations in high school, or do they have to there.
Well, and the number of times, Rhonda, that we have students that think they've sent all their stuff in and they haven't sent all their paperwork in, and they think they have accommodations and they don't, and they don't know where things stand. And so, we can help navigate those conversations.
And they have to request it
every semester.
We had an academic integrity case at one point where a student was insisting that they had accommodations and was being, a little bit abrasive about it actually, and they didn't have them registered like they thought. I thought, if they didn't get through. Also, back to Stephanie really quickly, I just want to say I had a student very similar to this who was emailing a professor and saying things like, you're a communist, your liberal left-wing ways are the reason for the downfall of a bunch of stuff like that. But then you talk to him and he's like, well, I just thought maybe that's what he was going for. Like he didn't understand, right? So seems pretty obvious to me. Anyway, so Stephanie actually sent some guidelines to me that I could provide for him on how he should, try to address emails and the content and appropriate things. So she's very, very helpful and very teacher-like in that way. Okay, Joy, were you okay? First of all, we probably need to know if he's threatened himself or anyone else. I will say again that there are quite a number of reports to Title IX that we get about situations like this, because two things, there's a problem with communication, right? Like it's not a problem, it's a different way to communicate, okay? And then also we have people that don't say to them, can you please stop? Can you please leave me alone? So then, those factors come together and then you get a Title IX complaint. So, we talked about therapists, OAS, has female asked him stop, nature or classroom disruption. Have there been reports to DEI, and are there any roommate issues, or would be good things to know? And then Joy, if you could. So we do have parental emergency notification, again, under the right circumstances. Referral to Caruth, since we're not sure if there is therapy there. Consultation with DEI. We may be able to do just some education with this person, even though they haven't been found responsible of anything. Sometimes you could just help them and give them some advice. Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. We would not handle this in like we're charging you with a conduct violation. Like, that's just not what we would do. That's not the purpose of our office. We're going to talk it through with him and try to figure out what is going on and try to give resources. Student Success Center, OAS, student orgs. There's a Star Wars club. Nobody, nothing, great. And then regular check-ins with Res Life or OSRR or Carrie Showalter approximately. Okay. All right. What time is it?
I do want to make note too, when you look here, when it says mentally ill students stalking people, that's the kind of stuff we try to avoid, right? I mean, we get those, and I can tell you those raise, I mean, that just is infuriating to me when we get a report like that, because there's lots laden in there with those statements.
Is that a quote?
But we get that stuff, yes, that is a quote, but we get stuff like that frequently. And then the professor will say, we want the student out of our classroom. They cannot be in this classroom. And then we have to have conversations and talk with them about how to manage classrooms and things like that. So we get this frequently. And so, like I said, I think there are experts here that can help us with some of this. But it's also hurtful to the student to start out by saying, for them not wanting to know that this professor doesn't want them in class. There's lots of harm that can be done there. So we do try to intervene so we can try to help kind of soften that a little bit.
Okay, I think we have time for one more. Let's see.
Do 5? Yeah, we'll do 5. We'll do Alec.
Let's do 5. Alec. Does anybody know where the name Alec is from?
Star Wars character.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who are you?